Past 8 a.m. this morning as we kick off this morning on News and Views. And we are now taking a look at Palestinians and how the World Cup, that the FIFA World Cup that is going to take place in Qatar, and how this is likely to impact on Palestinian fans that would want to attend this event. We joined this morning by Mohammed Shaban, Palestinian journalist and media coordinator out of Gaza this morning. Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome. Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I think you got the wrong thing. I'm not Muhammad. I'm Faried, Domingo.
Oh, sorry, Farid Domingo. Wow, okay, I'm sorry about this. I think there has been, uh, in fact, some sort of a confusion because, okay, Farid, we are obviously, okay, we're not talking FIFA World Cup, but I know we are talking about Zamas, and we're talking about the bodies that were found near the Maraisburg off-ramp near Bosmont. And it is
Uh,
understood that a number of bodies were discovered, and the Maraisburg off-ramp obviously very, very close to your part of the world. And what do we know? What is the latest situation?
well, for the first time, last night was the first time in over probably 6 weeks that we have not had a lot of shooting. There were no shots ringing out from the area, which was a level of comfort. We don't know how long that's going to last.
Yes.
Yesterday there were the six bodies that were found, but this was a result of violence the night before. And the total is actually seven bodies, as a car hit one of the bodies going on the night before when the violence occurred, and that was dragged to the Gordon Road off ramp because out of fear of the shooting on the highway there.
Yes. Now, Farid, let's just talk about this standoff that is taking place, and these Zamazamas obviously have been problematic for a very very long time, and we know what has taken place in the West End. We know what had taken place with the rape of the women, and at some point in time, we knew the bubble was going to burst. We know that communities were going to get tired, and they're going to start taking the matter in their own hands because this is now an uncontrollable controllable situation where even the authorities seem to be able to do nothing about these zamazamas.
Look, let me just clarify that the community itself did not do anything. We as the CPF of the area, we did not retaliate against them. This is as a result of infighting between certain factions within the Zamazamas itself. So it was not a
Okay.
community thing or a CPF. There was a misconception. Some news media went out yesterday that it was the community, and definitely the community has got nothing to do with it. Uh, the force and the strength of the Zamazamas is far too superior to that to what the community can do. Their arms, their ammunition, and their artillery is way more than that of the South African police.
Well,
We need to
definitely, and I think you actually what you're saying is very very true because this is what we have actually learned over a period of time where they've become a force and an army with themselves, and we've seen not only in the West End but in the East End as well. We're close to where I live as well, where I've heard this over and over again that not even the police can actually get to them. In fact, the police are actually scared because of the networks that they've built, and also in terms of the force, in terms of how sophisticated they've become, even as far as weaponry is concerned.
yes, and you must remember the we hear the sounds of the guns and the automatic weapons and etc. That rings through our suburb every night, and with the exception of last night. And you've got to remember, we as a CPF, in the time of the riots where people wanted to approach shopping centers, we could defend shopping centers. We were strong enough to do that, even though there was a massive 500 or 1,000 people. But yeah, we're sitting with that is a full army, and the only thing that's going to ever stop that army is our South African National Defence Force, along with the South African Police, that they do a cleanup, because this is the same belt right from Krugersdorp right till here. And we've had video footage. We've sent our drone out, and people think that there's one entrance and one exit, and there's well over 30 entrances to the shaft just within a 1 kilometer radius from us.
Wow. In fact, obviously, this is very, very scary when you are saying that, because, when we got to go so drastic and call in our defense force, but if that is the option, then why are the authorities not even considering or exercising this option for it?
I just believe that they don't care enough. Uh, you know, that's the bottom line. Because if you look at all the belts where the mining and where the Zamas are operating, is relatively lower income areas. So the situation is, until it affects the rich, they're not going to do anything. But hopefully this is going to be a wake-up call, having these bodies scattered yesterday. I mean, I want to give you an example. Yesterday, it took over 2 hours for the authorities to actually get there. We had to secure the scenes. Our CPF secured the scenes until they got there. It wasn't a rush. And once everybody came, we had helicopters, we had brigadiers, we had a whole lot of people there. But obviously after the fact, and obviously after the time that we called the media in.
Yes. Now, the mere fact that this is very, very close to an area like your area, Bosmont, where people live, how much risk is there as far as the residents of Bosmont are concerned?
It's a very high risk. To give you an example, part of the shooting night before last was basically covered two of the streets in Bosmont, where the shooting went on between the houses, in the street, in the thing. So it's now left over into the area. Because we are flanked with the flay, the sloot, and the graveyard where they operate from, we're flanked in between there. So the shooting was literally on our street, not adjacent, not on the side, not 500 meters away, in the street.
Mm. Farid, you mentioned, a number, or you mentioned multiple entrances to these shafts within a very, very short, you're talking about kilometer radius. And the thing is, looking at the authorities, and I'm sure today, even with technology, you mentioned drone technology, even with other forms of technology, I don't think it could be rocket science to actually locate these shafts and to start, obviously doing something about this, working, getting to the shafts to try and see, exactly how to address the problem, and more importantly, to try and actually even close or seal off, permanently seal off entrance to these shafts.
Look, sealing of entrance, sadly, it's so multiple, and from the big entrances, if you look at any mining movie, or if you've ever visited a mine, there were big entrances, but now there's multiple small entrances. So when you close up this lot, they're going to open up somewhere else. And to give you an example, there's water now that's being diverted so that they can get into the entrance. So now that has pushed dirty water into our flay. We've got a flay, and we've got a bit of a bird sanctuary in Bosmont. People don't realize it, but there's a whole lot of life within the flay, yeah. And that is pushing contaminated water into the flay. But this is the power, and JRA, the authorities, are too scared to approach these people to reopen, to reopen the area where they blocked off the water to come, that ended up coming into our flay.
Yes, and Farid, personally for you, because I believe you are one of the community members who made this gruesome discovery. I'm sure that this is giving you sleepless nights.
I promise you, it instills fear. And with the result, my phone's on 24/7, and every time there's a shot, people call me, and we sit and you stress because we pitch up. We've got a patrol vehicle with lights on. We've got 4 patrol vehicles that patrol the area. You must remember, we're coming in with lights on, and we become a sitting target. So we've got to really, really adapt, and we've got to really, really be careful, and we've got to plan, if I can call it military strategy, not to get hit, because it's a possibility, because now, our presence is a threat to their business, not a threat to them.
Mm. Yes, Farid. Well, Farid, we continue making dua, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala grant you safety, Allah protect you, and also everybody else and the community as well. But, we hope that this is definitely becoming a very, very serious matter. And the rapes that took place in the West End was the one thing. Now, this gruesome discovery of bodies. And it's about time that, someone sits up and takes notice. But more importantly, the action and the right action that actually needs to be taken to address this problem. Otherwise, we're going to be visiting this thing over and over again, and we're going to see massacre after massacre that is going to take place. And this obviously doesn't augur well for us as a society and its communities. So Allah grant you safety and Jazakallah once again for coming on talking to us this morning here on Salam Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Amin. Shukran.
Farid Domingo joining us this morning, and this is after it was discovered that several bodies near Maraisburg, there was a gruesome discovery right on the off ramp. And again, it's the Zama Zama problem that we have in the country. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back.